Adin Ross just lost everything. Career tanking, reputation destroyed, all because he couldn't keep Doechii's name out his mouth. The internet is raging right now, and what started as beef over an umbrella turned into the most toxic, misogynistic meltdown hip-hop has seen in years. Everybody thought they knew this story. Grammy-winning rapper disrespects her team at the Met Gala, streamer calls her out, classic celebrity drama, right? That was the version people ran with for months. But this whole situation spiraled into something way darker. What we're really looking at is a full-blown expose of how black women get treated in this industry, how male influencers weaponize their platforms, and how one man's ego literally cost him millions of dollars. New information keeps dropping, more artists are getting involved, and the entire hip-hop community just declared war on Adin Ross. This ain't just drama anymore, this is a cultural reckoning. Let me break down exactly how this all started, because the origins of this beef are actually wild. May 2025, the Met Gala. Doechii shows up looking absolutely stunning in a custom Louis Vuitton fit that everybody's waiting to see. But before she hits the red carpet, there's this video that leaks, and in the clip, you can see Doechii yelling at her team, demanding more umbrellas to block the paparazzi cameras. She's trying to hide the outfit before the official reveal, right? That's standard celebrity protocol. You protect the look until the big moment. But the internet didn't see it that way. People started clipping that footage, captioning it with Doechii being rude to her assistants, celebrity entitlement at its worst, all that noise. And the video went viral, millions of views. Everyone had an opinion. Some folks defended her, saying she's just protecting her designer moment. Others said she was acting bougie, treating working-class people like trash. Doechii responded pretty quickly. She posted on social media, "All jokes aside, I'm so proud of my glam team and the LV team for an incredible night." She made it clear she wasn't trying to disrespect anybody, she was just focused on making sure her outfit debut went perfectly. That should have been the end of it. A misunderstanding, a clarification, move on. But then, Adin Ross saw that video, and this dude decided to make it his entire personality for the next 8 months. He went on stream and launched into this absolutely unhinged rant about Doechii, called her an industry plant, called her unintelligent, called her entitled, called her ungrateful, and then he straight up called her on camera. This wasn't constructive criticism. This wasn't even regular internet beef. This was personal, targeted, and nasty. And Ross didn't stop there. He started questioning her entire career, said she didn't deserve collaborations with The Weeknd, said she didn't deserve to work with Playboy Cardi, claimed she had no real talent and everything was handed to her by the industry. His exact words were, "If you're disrespectful to a 9-to-5 hard-working person, it pisses me off." Which sounds noble on the surface, right? Standing up for regular workers. But here's where it gets suspicious. Adin Ross has a history of saying wild, controversial stuff about women, especially black women. This wasn't the first time he crossed the line, and it definitely wasn't going to be the last. And folks online immediately started calling him out. They said this wasn't about defending assistants. This was about a male influencer feeling entitled to tear down a successful black female artist because she didn't perform humility the way he expected. Music critic Anthony Fantano jumped in and called Ross out publicly, said his comments were misogynistic and out of pocket. Ross clapped back by calling Fantano a culture vulture, which is ironic coming from a streamer who built his career off hip-hop culture without actually contributing anything to it. But the damage was already done. Brands were watching, sponsors were taking notes, and Adin Ross's public relations nightmare was just getting started. TMZ picked up the story, Complex wrote articles, the blogs ran with it, and suddenly this wasn't just internet drama anymore. This was a full-blown controversy with real consequences. Adin Ross admitted on stream with DJ Academics, "Oh my God, I'm so mad, Ak. My PR was finally getting better. I had 2 deals lined up." He lost 2 major multi-million-dollar brand deals because of what he said about Doechii. Let that sink in. He tanked his own bag over a woman he doesn't even know, over a situation that had nothing to do with him. And the craziest part? Doechii didn't even respond yet. She stayed quiet, kept grinding, kept working. Meanwhile, Adin Ross is on stream melting down, losing money, burning bridges, and digging himself into a deeper hole every single day. Fans online started playing detective mode, pulling up old clips of Ross being disrespectful to other women, pointing out patterns of behavior, documenting every misogynistic comment he ever made. The internet was building a case, and Ross was the defendant.
Top Dog Entertainment's president, Punch, issued a warning in May 2025. He didn't name names, but everybody knew who he was talking about. He said, "These internet guys are really going far. It's a difference between entertainment and being disrespectful. I understand it's people's brands to say the things they say, but it's gonna go somewhere else. Eventually, everyone will see each other. No threats, let's just keep it cool and respectful." That's industry talk for you're playing a dangerous game, and there might be consequences you're not ready for. But Ross ignored the warning, kept talking, kept streaming, kept pushing, and that's when the whole situation went from internet beef to something way more serious. Now let's talk about the motive, because this is where everything starts making sense. Why did Adin Ross go so hard at Doechii? What was really behind all that anger? Because on the surface, it looks like a streamer defending working-class people, but when you dig deeper, you start seeing a much uglier picture. First, let's talk about Doechii's come-up. This woman didn't just appear out of nowhere. She's been grinding for years, started blowing up on TikTok with viral freestyles, got signed to TDE in 2021, the same legendary label that gave us Kendrick Lamar, SZA, Schoolboy Q. She's the first female MC on TDE's roster, which is a huge deal. She dropped her mixtape Alligator Bites Never Heal, and it was critically acclaimed across the board. She opened for Kendrick Lamar on his grand national tour. She performed at Glastonbury. She worked with Nas, The Weeknd, Playboi Carti, SZA, and then, February 2025, the Grammys. Doechii wins Best Rap Album. She becomes only the third woman ever to win that category, after Cardi B and Lauryn Hill. That's legendary status. That's history. But even with all that, people were still calling her an industry plant. Why? Because she's a black woman who's successful, confident, and unapologetic. And for some people, that's too much to handle. Adin Ross is one of those people. Here's a dude who built his career streaming video games and doing edgy content on Kick. He's not a musician, he's not an artist, he's not part of hip-hop culture in any meaningful way. But he loves inserting himself into it. He loves having rappers on his stream. He loves the clout that comes with being adjacent to the culture, but he doesn't respect it, and he definitely doesn't respect the women in it.
Think about Ross's trajectory. He was pulling in millions from streaming, brand deals, sponsorships, but his reputation has been tanking for years. Controversial takes, edgy jokes that cross the line, allegations of enabling toxic behavior, platforming problematic figures. His image was already damaged before the Doechii situation even happened, and reportedly he was trying to clean it up, trying to get his public relations back on track so he could secure more deals and grow his brand. But then he saw that Met Gala video, and something in him snapped. Maybe it was jealousy. Doechii was on the red carpet at one of the biggest fashion events in the world, wearing custom Louis Vuitton, about to win a Grammy, living her best life. Meanwhile, Ross is sitting in his streaming room, watching from the sidelines, wishing he had that kind of cultural relevance, that kind of respect, that kind of legacy. And so he lashed out. He weaponized his platform and his audience to tear her down. He framed it as defending regular workers, but really it was about putting a successful black woman in her place. It was about punishing her for not being humble enough, grateful enough, submissive enough. It was about asserting dominance in a space where he has no real power. Now let's talk about the industry plant accusation specifically, because this is a weapon that gets used against black women constantly. An industry plant is supposedly an artist who gets artificially pushed by labels without earning their success organically. But here's the thing. That label almost exclusively gets thrown at black female artists, not white pop stars who get billion-dollar marketing budgets, not male rappers who get label deals after one viral song. Black women. Doechii's success is not manufactured. She put in the work. She went viral on her own. She built a fan base independently. TDE didn't create her. They recognized her talent and signed her. That's how the music industry works. But people like Adin Ross can't accept that. They need to believe there's some conspiracy, some shortcut, some unfair advantage. Because if they admit Doechii earned everything she has, then they have to confront their own insecurities about why they're not on her level. And it gets even messier when you look at Ross's history with women. There's a pattern here. He's made disrespectful comments about female streamers, female artists, women in his personal life. He's created content that demeans women for clicks. And when he gets called out, he plays the victim.
says people are too sensitive, says it's just jokes, says he's being canceled for no reason. But the consequences he's facing aren't cancel culture, they're accountability. Put all that together and the motive becomes crystal clear. Adin Ross went after Doechii because she represents everything he's not: talented, respected, accomplished, beloved by the culture. And instead of celebrating her, instead of staying in his lane, he tried to drag her down to make himself feel bigger. That kind of insecurity is dangerous, and the fallout from it was about to get even worse for him. But here's the part that really hits different, the part that makes this whole situation so much heavier than just internet beef. Doechii is a real person, a black woman trying to navigate an industry that's historically been hostile to women who look like her. And she's dealing with this constant barrage of hate, disrespect, and misogyny from people who don't even know her. Imagine working your entire life to achieve your dreams, grinding through the struggle, putting out music that's vulnerable and honest, building a fan base that genuinely loves you, winning a Grammy, making history. And then some dude with a microphone and an audience decides to spend months calling you a bitch, questioning your intelligence, suggesting you slept your way to the top, all because you raised your voice at a fashion event. That's not just disrespectful, that's dehumanizing. It's stripping away all of Doechii's accomplishments and reducing her to a stereotype: the angry black woman, the entitled diva, the woman who needs to be humbled. And the saddest part is, this isn't new. Black women in entertainment deal with this constantly. They're either too quiet or too loud, too humble or too confident, too grateful or too demanding. There's no winning. Doechii has talked in interviews about how hard it was to break into the industry as a dark-skinned black woman. She's talked about the pressure to code switch, to shrink herself, to perform respectability so people will take her seriously. And she's also talked about making the conscious decision to be unapologetically herself, to take up space, to demand what she's worth, to not apologize for her excellence. And that's what Adin Ross couldn't handle. A black woman who refuses to shrink, who refuses to be grateful for scraps, who refuses to let men dictate her narrative. So he tried to drag her down publicly, knowing his audience would amplify the hate, knowing the blogs would pick it up, knowing it would trend. And for a while it worked. Doechii was getting attacked from all angles. The comments under her posts were vicious. The industry plant hashtag was everywhere. People were questioning whether she deserved her Grammy. But here's what Roth didn't count on. Doechii is strong. She's resilient. She's been through worse, and she has a community that loves her. TDE had her back. SZA had her back. Fans had her back. And when the time was right, she responded. Not with a rant, not with insults, but with art. December 2025, Doechii drops a track with SZA called Girl Get Up. And in that song, she addresses everything: the industry plant rumors, the misogyny, the disrespect, the double standards. And even though she doesn't name Adin Ross directly, everybody knows exactly who she's talking about. The lyrics hit like a freight train. All that industry plant shit whack. I see it on the blogs, I see you in the chats. You suck every rap from the back. But what's the agenda when the it girl black? Y'all can't fathom that I worked this hard, and y'all can't fathom that I earned this chart. Let me break that down. She's calling out the hypocrisy, calling out the men who worship male rappers but tear down black women, calling out the narrative that her success must be fake because people can't accept that a black woman could be that talented. And the line about what's the agenda when the it girl black is a direct attack on the misogynoir she's been facing, the specific type of hatred that targets black women for existing confidently in spaces they've earned. Fans online went absolutely insane. The song trended immediately. People were dissecting every bar, making reaction videos, posting clips with captions like "Doechii said what needed to be said." And Adin Ross, he saw it and he felt it. He knew that shoe fit. He went on stream and you could tell he was bothered. Tried to play it cool at first, but his energy was off. He was defensive, deflecting. And that's when you knew the song got to him. But Adin Ross being Adin Ross, he couldn't just take the L and move on. No, he had to escalate. He had to prove he's the loudest, the most reckless, the most willing to cross lines. So, in January 2026, he teams up with Tekashi 6ix and his fellow streamer Cuff'em to record a diss track called Bacon. Yes, seriously, Bacon.
The song is exactly as bad as it sounds. It's targeting multiple people: Lil Durk, Lil TJ, Casanat's ex Gigi, and of course, Doechii. Ross's verse is only 8 bars, and in those 8 bars, he calls Doechii a botting views, accuses her of using bots to inflate her streaming numbers. The same tired, misogynistic playbook. If a woman is successful, she must be cheating somehow. But it gets worse. During the stream where they recorded this mess, Ross escalates even further. He calls Doechii a stupid, suggests she slept her way to success, and even Cuff'em, who's literally sitting right there with him, tells him to calm down. That's how far over the line he went. His own collaborator on the diss track is like, bro, chill. And the internet exploded. Fans started mass reporting the stream. Clips of Ross's comments went viral with captions calling him out for blatant misogyny and racism. People were done. This wasn't funny. This wasn't edgy content. This was a grown man using his platform to spew hatred at a black woman who never even engaged with him directly. That's when the hip-hop community decided enough was enough. West Coast rapper Glasses Malone posted a video directly addressing Adin Ross, and the message was clear. I don't give a fuck if you think that shit dissing you. You not finna just be sitting up there talking shit to black women. On God, bro, if you keep doing it, I'ma start pressing all the around you. That's not internet talk. That's real world consequences. Glasses Malone is a respected figure in LA. He's connected, and he just told Ross to watch his mouth or there's gonna be problems. Ross tried to act tough, calling Glasses Malone a fat simp, saying he moves with security and police, saying let's link up, you know where I'm at. But everybody could see through it. He was scared. Then Joe Budden got involved. On his podcast, Budden said, I do want to say I'm rooting for Glasses Malone to get all the Crips together. Ross, I am, sorry, because I think that's who she was talking to on the song. He called Ross's comments bullshit and disgusting. And when one of the biggest voices in hip-hop media is publicly saying you deserve to get checked, you know you've crossed a major line. Ross clapped back at Joe Budden too, calling him a challenging him to link up, accusing him of being anti-Semitic, trying to flip the narrative and make himself the victim. But nobody was buying it. The culture had turned on him completely. And then Jason Martin, formerly known as Problem, stepped in. This LA rapper posted that he's putting his foot down after hearing Ross call Doechii a one too many times. He made it clear, the culture's not going for it in 2026. Disrespecting Doechii will not be tolerated. Even TDE's president Punch got back involved, posting on social media that Doechii would beat Ross in a fight, making it clear the label stands behind their artist. The message from the entire hip-hop community was unified. Adin Ross crossed the line, and there will be consequences. Now, let's talk about the broader context here, because this situation didn't happen in a vacuum. There's a long, painful history of black women in hip-hop being disrespected, dismissed, and devalued. And the Doechii Adin Ross situation is just the latest example of a pattern that's been going on for decades. Think about how female rappers are covered in the media compared to male rappers. When a man drops an album, the conversation is about the music, the production, the lyrics, the artistry. When a woman drops an album, the conversation is about her body, her relationships, who she's dating, what she's wearing. The music becomes secondary. Think about how female rappers are compensated. They get paid less for features, less for shows, less for endorsements, even when they're pulling the same numbers, generating the same buzz, delivering the same quality. The industry undervalues them because they're women, and especially because they're black women. Think about the double standards. A male rapper can be aggressive, cocky, confrontational, and he's confident. A female rapper does the same thing, and she's difficult. A male rapper can have a public meltdown and people say he's going through something. A female rapper shows any emotion and she's unstable. The rules are different and everybody knows it. Doechii is far from the first black woman to deal with this. Megan Thee Stallion got shot and people questioned whether she was lying. Cardi B faced constant accusations of being an industry plant despite her organic come-up. Nicki Minaj has been fighting misogyny her entire career. Lotto, Glorilla, Ice Spice, Sweet Tea, all of them deal with constant scrutiny that their male counterparts never face. And the industry plant accusation, that's almost exclusively weaponized against black women. Nobody called Post Malone an industry plant when he blew up overnight. Nobody called Lil Nas X an industry plant when Old Town Road dominated for months. But let a black woman have a successful debut and suddenly there's a conspiracy theory about how the label manufactured her success.
The reason this matters in the Doechii Adin Ross situation is because Ross didn't invent these talking points. He's repeating narratives that have been used to undermine black women for years. He's just another man with a platform amplifying misogyny and getting rewarded for it with clicks, views, and engagement. But here's what's different this time. The culture fought back. Artists spoke up. Fans rallied. The community said, "Not this time." And Ross faced real consequences. Lost money, lost opportunities, lost respect. That's progress. That's accountability. That's what happens when people stop tolerating disrespect. There's also a bigger conversation happening about male influencers and their relationship to hip-hop culture. Guys like Adin Ross, DJ Academics, and others who've built careers off covering rap beef, platforming controversial figures, and stirring up drama for content. They profit off the culture without contributing to it. They don't make music, they don't support artists, they just extract value and move on. And when they cross lines, when they disrespect artists, especially black women, they hide behind "it's just content" or "I'm just giving my opinion." But words have consequences, platforms have power, and using that power to tear down someone who's actually creating art, who's actually contributing something meaningful, that's parasitic behavior. The culture is starting to reject that, and Ross is learning that lesson the hard way.
What we're seeing here is way bigger than one streamer beefing with one rapper. This is about how black women are treated in entertainment, how their success is questioned, how their boundaries are violated, how their humanity is denied. BET published an article breaking down the Doechii Adin Ross situation, and one line really stuck out. "No one is owed access to black women's bodies, gratitude, or humility." That's the core issue. Society has conditioned people, especially men, to feel entitled to black women performing a certain way, being soft, being accommodating, being grateful for opportunities they earned. And when black women refuse to perform that role, when they demand respect, when they take up space unapologetically, they get punished. They get called angry, difficult, entitled, ungrateful, and men like Adin Ross feel justified in tearing them down publicly because in their minds, these women need to be humbled. The article also called out black men specifically. The black men co-signing it need to do some serious self-reflection. If you're a black man agreeing with Ross, pause. Ask why you're comfortable when disrespect is the punchline. That's a critical point. Because misogyny doesn't just come from outside the community, it's internalized too. And when black men co-sign the disrespect of black women, they're participating in their own oppression. This situation is also a case study in how online platforms enable harassment. Adin Ross has a massive audience on Kick. When he goes on a rant about Dochi, his viewers clip it, share it, amplify it, and pile on. That's not organic discourse, that's coordinated harassment. And platforms profit from it. They get the engagement, the ad revenue, the subscriptions, while the target of the harassment suffers real harm. Doechii has been dealing with this for months. Death threats in her DMs, constant trolling under every post, people trying to sabotage her career. And the platform that enables it, they don't care. As long as it drives traffic, they let it happen. That's a systemic problem that goes beyond any individual creator. The bigger conversation is about responsibility. If you have a platform, if you have influence, you have a responsibility to use it ethically. You can criticize, you can disagree, but when criticism turns into targeted harassment, when disagreement turns into dehumanization, you've crossed a line. And Adin Ross obliterated that line months ago. This is also a warning for anybody who thinks they can disrespect artists without consequences. The hip-hop community is protective of its own, especially when it comes to black women who are out here doing the work, creating the culture, and getting disrespected for it. Ross learned that lesson, and hopefully others will take note before they make the same mistake. So where does this leave Adin Ross now? His reputation is in shambles. He lost major deals. He's been called out by multiple respected figures in hip-hop. The culture has rejected him, and all of it is self-inflicted. He could have stayed in his lane. He could have ignored the Met Gala video. He could have taken the L when Dochi dropped "Girl Get Up" and moved on, but his ego wouldn't let him. And now he's facing potential real-world consequences. Glasses Malone's warning wasn't a joke. Jason Martin's statement wasn't performative. These are people with real connections in LA, and they're making it clear that if Ross keeps running his mouth, something might happen.
He can talk about having security and police all he wants, but that's not going to protect him from the culture turning its back on him completely. Ross tried to blame Complex magazine, saying they're fueling the fire with their coverage. But Complex didn't make him call Doechii a stupid, smelly whore. Complex didn't make him record bacon. Complex didn't make him lose brand deals. He did all that himself, and now he's looking for someone else to blame because he can't handle accountability. There's also speculation about what happens next. Some people think Ross is going to double down, keep pushing, keep trying to stay relevant through controversy. Others think he's going to quietly back off, stop mentioning Doechii, and hope people forget. But the internet doesn't forget. Clips live forever. Screenshots are permanent, and his legacy is now tied to this situation whether he likes it or not. As for Doechii, she's thriving. She's got multiple Grammy nominations for 2026, including for her single Anxiety. She was named Billboard's Woman of the Year. She's touring, she's making music, she's unbothered. And that's the most powerful response she could have given. While Ross is spiraling, she's elevating. While he's losing deals, she's signing new ones. While he's burning bridges, she's building a legacy. BET described her approach as grown behavior. It's also strategic, because Doechii understands that engaging with Ross would have just given him more attention, more content, more ways to monetize her name. So she let her music speak, let her success speak, let her community defend her. And now she's winning while he's collapsing. There's also a sense that this situation is far from over. More artists might speak up, more consequences might come for Ross. And if he keeps pushing, if he keeps disrespecting Doechii or other black women, the backlash is only going to get worse. The culture has drawn a line, and he's standing on the wrong side of it.
Stay locked in because this story is absolutely not over yet. More details are going to keep dropping, more artists might get involved, and reports say Adin Ross is scrambling behind the scenes trying to do damage control, but it might be too late. The internet has made its decision and the hip-hop community has spoken. So here's what I want to know from y'all in the comments. Do you think Adin Ross deserves the consequences he's facing, or did people go too far? Do you think Doechii handled this situation perfectly by staying above it and letting her music speak, or should she have clapped back harder? And honestly, do you think this beef is done, or is round 2 about to get even messier? Drop your thoughts below because I'm reading every single comment and I want to hear what y'all think about this whole situation. And let's keep it respectful. We can disagree without being disrespectful. That's the whole point of this conversation. Make sure you like this video if you appreciate the deep dive and the breakdown. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already locked in with us, because we cover every major story, every twist, every update as soon as it drops. And turn on notifications with that bell icon so you never miss when we post new content. We've got more celebrity drama, more industry breakdowns, more cultural analysis coming your way. I appreciate every single one of you for rocking with me, for engaging with the content, for being part of this community. Y'all make this channel what it is, and I don't take that for granted. I'll see y'all in the next one. Stay safe out there, stay informed, and remember, the internet never forgets, but the culture always protects its own. Peace.